Hi, everyone. Welcome to our weekly discussion series that is hosted by the Chaldean Cultural Center in collaboration with U of M Detroit Center, Unique Voices in Films, and CMN TV. Today, I have a Chaldean American guest who is a chef. She is an engineer. She's an author. And when you watch, and she's a TV host, which she has a lot of videos about her recipes, which when you watch her videos, you get, you wish that you can know how to cook all of that. Welcome, Samira. It's so good to have you.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Well, I gotta say, when I first started working at the Chaldean Cultural Center, so the way my desk was, your cookbooks were right next to me. And I'm thinking, I gotta take these home, I gotta purchase these, and I have to make sure that I follow it step by step. And I haven't yet perfected that, but I did get to see some of your wonderful videos, and I learned so much from you, and I'll tell you one particular one that I really liked. But before we get into all of that and how you got into this profession, I'd like to learn a little bit, and for our audience, to learn a little bit about yourself. You were born in Iraq, correct?
Yes.
And is that when your love for cooking started?
Yeah, actually started, I was born in Baghdad, Iraq, and graduated college engineering. And then we left in 1979. And but since I was very young, I was the oldest one in like my household out of all my brothers and sisters. And my mom, of course, back home, they don't let you go in the kitchen and touch anything, especially when you are that young. I was like maybe 10, 11 years old. I always wanted, to be in the kitchen and help my mom to make, some recipes. I took advantage of back home, everyone, especially summertime, they take a nap, it's too hot, it's called siesta time, but I was the only one out of the whole household who will not nap, because I just couldn't. Until this day, I can't nap. So I go in the kitchen and, back home, like you have pantry full of ingredients and freezer full of chicken and beef and everything. This is how they stack up, back there. And so I take some, few ingredients and I make something, and then everyone, it's tradition, like when they wake up, they need to have some chai with, like some cookie or some, just like little thing with the chai, that's like everyone does that. So I'll make something and turn out to be good. I serve it and I, put the table, put napkins and teacups and everything. And if it doesn't turn out to be good, everything goes in the garbage, wash the dishes. It's like I didn't do anything. So, if it was a failure recipe, So, and this is how, I just like enjoyed it so much. And, this just like stayed with me. And, always, people will ask for recipes from me. And then I said, why don't I put this in a cookbook? So make it easy for people to have. So first of all, I started my first cookbook in the Arabic language because we had so many newcomers here that they had hard time even reading English, and they already know how to cook our food. There is the maraqa, the dolma, the kobahan, all this food. They already know how to cook that, but they were raising kids here. So they wanted to, instead of going to a restaurant and buying something like chicken nuggets or pizza or pasta or different kind of salads that, it's new that we all, adapted to in this country. So I wrote all that in Arabic. It was all like international, actually, or food that everyone eats here if they are not eating at home. And it was really a big success. I only have from like 4,000 or 5,000 copies. I only have like about 12 of them that I saved. I'm not even selling those because I want to keep them. So then, like a lot of the moms, they said, okay, like our girls are getting married, our sons are getting married and their wives. So they bother us with recipes and we don't know how to give recipes, So why don't you just write one like our food? So I wrote the Treasured Middle Eastern Cookbook. Of course, all our food.
By the way, it's a big hit by us. If you guys are interested, you can order books by Amazon, but
Oh yeah, Amazon, yeah.
We recently ran out. We had to order more because everybody, and by the way, not just people of Middle Eastern background, we had a Jewish group that came
Oh, yeah.
to
Yeah.
the
A
cultural
lot of
center.
people.
They saw that, and yeah, they grabbed it.
Yeah, because I noticed from, from Amazon orders, like I sold over 10,000 copies. And from Amazon, like I noticed, the names and like, it's going to Alabama, Utah, North Carolina. I said, and like they all have American names. I said, really? I mean, Utah, who would know about Chaldean or Middle Eastern food, But our food, honestly, it's the best, it's very healthy. It's like so fresh. We use fresh ingredients, so people who, like try our food, they keep, going to the same place to buy more or to go and eat, dine in restaurants or, a lot of, people that I work with, they really make our recipes and they love it. So, anytime I have leftover, I take it. I work as a substitute teacher for West Bloomfield High School, and anything, I have any extra food, I take it there and teachers just fight over it, because they love our food.
Well,
So,
and this is so the question is, I watch some of your videos and our foods. I mean, I do cook, of course, Iraqi and Chaldean food, but I'm as elaborate as you. I have to admit, I have advanced to that degree, and most of
I'm sure everyone is good. Everyone
yeah,
is good.
I have that goal though, and I have lovely sisters that cook great food, so they have to come and help me. But it's great that you have it in a recipe, so I don't have, we don't each other all the time. But one of the things, the lifestyle here is so different. I think I saw one time in your interview where you said in Iraq, and I think it's the case in the most Middle Eastern countries still, where the women are mostly at home cooking. And it takes a lot of time, and the preparation, and then the cooking, and then the cleaning, and it's a whole process, and it's a wonderful, very healthy process. But how do you do that, given that you work, and then and you have kids? I'm sure you have
Grandkids, kids and
and
grandkids.
grandkids. Wow, see, so
Or grandkids, yeah.
so I'm really, I am impressed by the women. So yes, I cook and everything else. Like my sisters are older than me, but they have, like I said, the more elaborate where they do things from scratch.
Yeah.
So and it's very impressive because it does take up a lot of time. And how does one, or let's just maybe see how you do it. How do you juggle that and keep a healthy kitchen and your traditional cultural foods while you're juggling all these other things, and even that don't work? In the United States, we're very fast paced. There's a lot of things to do. If you have kids, you're like running around, not right now with the pandemic, but taking them to different places. How did you handle all of that, and what advice would you give to other women?
Very important thing, before you even start cooking, you really need to have, like all the ingredients ready for you. You can't really run out, in the middle of cooking. Oh, I forgot to do this, or I forgot. Oh, did I lose you?
I can hear you. I just need, if you can refresh your screen.
Sure. I'm gonna do that. Yeah. So I don't know why is this happening. Okay. It's not letting me. Okay, start the page here. There. Okay. All right, sorry. So you really have, you need to have all your ingredients ready, making sure, like what you're gonna make. And, a good thing to do is like you wanna be prepared, like, for the whole week, what you're gonna be making. I know, most of people, they don't wanna cook every single day, but sometimes, you can prep some stuff that you can use for 3 or 4 days. You can make different things out of the same, like let's say you have a chicken ready. So you can, the first day you have roasted chicken, you can make some red rice, some burger with some salad, and that will be a good meal. And then, you could instead, I never roast one chicken. I always roast at least 2 or 3 of them because, it takes the same time in the oven to be roasting, and same preparation. You get all your spices out, you get all the stuff that you need out. You need to marinate it, you need to have it ready, you need to put it in a roasting pan. So instead of roasting just one, it will take maybe another 5 or 10 minutes extra. You can roast 2 or 3 of them and then use them for different recipes. Like the first day you made.
Put that on the instructions, that if you did 3 at the same time, like, do you have that in
Yeah.
your, and what do you do after that? So if you do 3
So
chickens,
let's say like you have one, the first day you roasted the chicken, you can eat one chicken, let's say. It depends on how big is your family, of course. If when my kids were home, now they all out, like they all married and moved out. But when they were home, probably 2 chicken will be, just ideal for my family. But if you just use one chicken, let's say you made some burger, some salad, red rice, yellow rice, whatever you're gonna make with it, and then you still have 2 more. So the other 2 more the next day, like I shred some chicken and I made let's say chicken, maybe quesadillas out of one. So you already have the chicken roasted, so you just shred it, and you have some, like the rest of the ingredients. You want to make sure you have them ready. So that's why you really have to be prepared. What are you going to be making that week? So when you go shopping, you only make one stop and you get all your ingredients, and then maybe the other chicken, you can cut it out into pieces, take the skin out, and you can make maybe curry with it, like chicken curry with it. That will be, it's already cooked and everything, and shouldn't take that long. And that even saves you time, because if your meat is cooked, everything else is really not going to take that long. And even when I'm making, let's say rizzo maraka from stew meat, I never just make one portion. I buy a whole, maybe 4 or 5 pounds, and then I sear it, I cook the whole thing, and then divide it into Ziploc bags with some, of course, some beef stock in it, and then it will be ready. It goes in the freezer, and then if I want to make arza maraka, it will take about the same time that will take for the rice to cook. The maraka will be cooked. So these are good steps.
I mean, these were, so you do put into consideration the lifestyle that we're currently living.
Yeah, I'm speaking only because, like you said, everyone is busy here, and most of them sometimes they work or they are on a run with their kids, So I think that's really a good idea, and you save a lot of time actually, even if you are not working. I mean, why not? You could use your time to do something else.
Well, this seems like this is the engineering side of you.
Yeah.
And this is why this is perfect, where you quote that, you say that they actually engineering and cooking mirror each.
I do. Oh yeah, my kitchen is my lab.
I don't want to be the one that want to quote you, but can you share that? Because right now, just what you just said, you helped change my perspective on how to prepare the cooking. And I think my husband and my children will probably be a lot happier because I'll cook more often, because you just simplified it in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, I mean, really, honestly, I mean, there are so many steps you can take that will make you love to cook. I mean, when it's too complicated for you, anything, not only cooking, you will not enjoy it, and you will just stop after 1 week of cooking, But when it's all organized for you, organization is a key for, I think, anything you do in your life, And this is how I look at it, I'm I organize everything. I'm like way, crazy about organization and everything, but it helps a lot though. I mean, it, makes my life a lot easier, and it makes everything that I do a lot easier. So, I mean, and I use, like you mentioned, I use my engineering in cooking, because, I mean, even when I wrote my cookbooks, when I open out the dough, I always tell them, open it into 12 by 8, and you cut that into 8 portions. Each one is 3 inches. So, I mean, that's like using math in your, so it's just very important. I mean, to be organized and to be precise every single time, and once you like a recipe, use it all the time. Don't change anything. Some people said, oh, it didn't turn out to be very good as last time. I think I added another tablespoon of flour, or I added less salt, or I added less, let's say, spices, So if you like a recipe, just keep doing the same one. Do not change it, you know. So I think that's another thing that will keep you or make you cook all the time. And, you know, like it's good motivation, I think.
Well, okay, so let's go back to, you know, as an author myself, I've never done a cookbook, but I know that there's a lot of work that goes into creating a book, regardless whether, you know, how you're writing it. So I've never done a cookbook, but now
Mhm.
what you're saying, I'm curious about how that process was for you, because like you just said, there's, you know, all this information, these details that you have to incorporate, and you know that people are going to be like using these measurements, and
Mhm.
you want to be, you know, so accurate to help them have the best outcome.
Mhm.
And then you have to put images in it and the whole process. So can you share your experience in writing the books? Was that difficult? Did you have to get help? If somebody is interested in doing something similar, regardless of, you know, what their recipes might be, you know, I'm a lot of a part of a lot of writing communities and authors and things like that. So they might just be, you know, interested. How do you create a cookbook, and is that a difficult process?
Yeah. Yeah, I think writing a cookbook is really, I think, to me, I would think it's the hardest book to write because it's not only writing. It's not like you sit and write a story about somebody or about, or maybe a documentary about something. You really have to, and like, you know, I would not put my name on something unless I am 100% sure, more than 100% sure that the recipe will come out. So my kitchen was my lab, you know, when I was writing my cookbooks. I mean, I was in the kitchen constantly all the time. And I for sure, you know, a lot of the recipes that, you know, I just learned now, let's say I didn't have any measurement, I didn't have any recipe, and I know exactly just like a simple idea about how this recipe is being done. So I had to sometimes test and make the recipe like maybe 6, 7 times until I perfect it. So especially when it comes to baking, you know, like cooking, sometimes you can play around with it, you know, add a little bit of that, you can fix it. But when it comes to baking, especially when I wrote my third cookbook, A Baking Journey, that was really a lot of work. It was more work than I could ever imagine. So what I did is like for 3 months, I will sit and choose what I'm gonna choose for this chapter of, you know, of the book. And then, you know, because I had like way, I mean, the publisher had to make me take out 100 recipes because I had like 660. I had to take 100 out in order for the book to be reasonable, you know, to sell or to publish. So I had like 12 chapters. So I decided what I'm going to make for this chapter. And then once I decided to do that, I had to sit and write the recipes. And then 3 months, I'll be in the kitchen to test and make all these recipes. And at the same time, I have the photographer to come and take a picture once I am 100% sure this is the right, you know, one. This is the one that I'm gonna write, and it's, you know, it's final. So it is a lot of work actually, but you know, it's, to me it was so much fun. I will do it again. You know, I mean, it's fun if you like something and you put your mind in it, and you are not forced to do it. You are not, you know, like obligated, you know, to do it because for whatever reason. I mean, it's fun. It was like I was enjoying all that time. You know, it took me like a year, you know, to write each book, and it was so much fun. I mean, I don't regret it at all.
Yeah, and the quality of these cookbooks, I have to say, they're great quality. You know, they're a good size, so it's easy
Mhm.
to, when you open them and as you're cooking, you can see everything very easily, and the images are beautiful. So you did a very nice job.
Thank you.
Another way that you share your recipes is, so you do have the cookbooks, but you also have a, like a show, but
Yeah.
it's you have your YouTube channel has so many videos. You know, recent. I don't know when you started this show, but when did you start your TV show?
2010. I
Okay.
started in, actually it was July. We started taping June 2010 for MEA TV. And I mean, like, honestly, they were like 10 years before that, you know, they were like asking me, you know, to do, since I wrote my first cookbook, they were, you know, like asking me to, you know, to do a show. They said, you know, like your recipes are very good and we need to do, but I wasn't ready, you know. And then like just one day I decided, I said, no, I think this will be good, you know, when my kids were older and my daughter was, kids, my grandkids, everyone is going to benefit from it. So I want to do it. So me and Vanessa Denha, went and we had a meeting with them. And so we started taping June 2010. And of course, it takes about 3-4 weeks to montage each video. So I think the first one was aired on July 10th, 2010. That was my first one that we did. And then I just kept going. I didn't want to stop. And then, of course, after a few years, everything was uploaded on YouTube. And then it was like, easy for a lot of people instead of, watching it at certain time or that, on many of the young girls, they'll put the laptop in front of them in the kitchen and they just follow step by step, which is so easy, so nice.
It is. And this is how I found, so one day I had picked a bunch of grape leaves and then I was trying to find an easy way to preserve them.
Yeah.
And from what I had heard is that, there was that way of putting with water and salt or something like that. So for some reason, I tried to find the easiest ways to do things. So I was Googling stuff. I wasn't really even looking strictly for your recipe because yours says, I think like that you're going to make dolma, but I was trying to find a way to preserve them without doing it through the water, right?
Yeah.
So then I saw your video. I love that video because I never heard of somebody doing it the way you had, where you said how to take them together, fold them, and like
Just this is how they did it back home.
Yeah, and then you said,
this is how they did it back home. I remember.
Yeah, and then you simplified it another way where you said you can just take them and then you put them in a Ziploc bag. And I thought, you're right. Does that sound right? But because you have such a strong name, because in the past it seemed so much more complicated. And honestly, I thought, wow, how brilliant and how simple. But that was one of the ones, I think, like I said, one of the reasons I really enjoyed it is because you brought your mom's, you do that in other videos, but that particular one, I've never seen it. And I just loved seeing you thread the grape leaves after folding, how you said that you just like hang them, and I would have never, I don't know that I never heard that story. And I was born in Baghdad too, even though I came young, but still. So these kind of things, I think watching you in your show, it's not only that we're getting the recipe, but I just feel like we're getting a lot of traditional value and history that it's just so warm.
This is my intention. I want to keep, honestly, I always think that, I am responsible for, keeping the tradition of, because our food is part of our tradition, plays a big role in our traditions, like we have food if we are sad or happy occasions, big occasions, small occasions. The food plays a big role in our culture, and this is very important. So I intentionally make sure, I always tell stories, in during, the video, I always tell story, people used to, let's say for klecha, people didn't have ovens back home. So I used to go to the bakery and put all these, and women will sit together and 5-6 of them, mom, sisters, daughters, or friends, and they work together, they tell story, they catch up. So, this is really who we are. And I don't see any reason why we don't, acknowledge that, and we don't, just bring it up and, for the next generation, the 2 or 3 more generations, to know how we are. Because, we sit and talk to our kids all the time. They are adults. They already have, a great idea about how we grew up, how things were done there, or how culture is. But their kids will not know that much. So, it will be nice, I think, to keep that. And
you're passing tradition, right? You're passing tradition in a digital age. That's really what you're still passing on the stories. And so what you're doing, you're entering our kitchen as if you were visiting and helping me cook. But because of the digital age, we are just seeing you through the screen that you're doing it.
Yeah. So I think it's very nice. And you will be surprised how many comments I get from people back home, like people who, like I have to do many of my videos in Arabic because these people don't, they can't speak English, So, and I do like bilingual, I want to make sure everyone will benefit, it's a lot of work for me, but I do it. I want to make sure everyone will benefit from it. And you will be surprised if you read the comments, if you can read Arabic, like beautiful comments they write, like, for how, like we've been here for this long and how we are Iraqi women, but we are keeping, the traditions that, like even they said even people back home don't follow anymore, but we kept them and we are so proud of that. I think it's nice to give them that reflection of how we are, like living here for over 40 years, but we kept all our traditions, and they ask me questions. So do you still like do this? Do you still like get together? Do you still like family? Like they have like really a different image about how we live here. They don't think we are like 100% still Iraqi or Chaldean. I mean, like we do it all the way, I mean, they don't really have an idea. So I always write, and tell them, like respond to them and tell them, no, we do this, we do that, like we probably do things more than what you guys do, like traditionally.
Well, because yeah, I've heard that a lot where I think people who left and whatever they left with, they have done their best to try to maintain it, but then the people there, they've just kind of shifted with the time.
They did, yeah.
And you're reminding them and inspiring them, which is really wonderful. I want to also mention that we've mentioned your books, but I know that you've also contributed a great deal to Mabasima.
Yeah.
True. Okay. Yeah, which was it was published by the Chaldean American Ladies of Charity. Yeah.
Yes.
So
That was another fun project.
Yeah, that was a project that was like with several women that cooked. And yeah, so you've gotten involved in quite a bit of work. Now, people if they want to catch your YouTube channel, is just your name, correct?
Yeah, it's just Samira's Kitchen, yeah. You can Samira's Kitchen, or in Arabic is Matbakh Samira, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but like either one will work.
Samira Cholagh, yes, and in English, then and so they can find your videos. And like I said, I mean, and I noticed even when I visited there that you have, I mean, I don't know, there was one a pie or something recently, but it's not all just Middle Easterners. Sometimes you do incorporate other recipes. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I do like I mix it up, honestly. I mean, like let's say it's maybe 80%, 75 to 80%, it's all like Chaldean and Middle Eastern, but like I mix it up, sometimes I'll do like one whole Italian show. I cook different kind of pasta. I do Mexican. I did Chinese even, I do like from different, Middle Eastern countries, like Lebanese, Moroccan, like a lot of things that, I mean, why not? We all need to know, like new recipes, sometimes you get sick and tired of what you have. And then you want to make sure everyone is like I have people from Saudi Arabia who write for me and they say, like we love Iraqi food and, like you make it so easy and this is how my mom did it. I have like a Jewish, girl who's like probably in her 20s and she goes, my grandma, like when like she cooked all this food for us in Israel because she was from Iraq. And she, when we try, me and my mom, we try the recipe, we watch your show all the time, and we always remember our grandma because, this is how she cooked for us, like, when the same way and the ingredients the same, it tastes exactly the same. So it's nice. I mean, like people all over the world, they hopefully they benefit and see it. And, they follow me on Instagram and Facebook. And because almost every day I post a new or a previously recorded show on Facebook, making sure according to the season. So like for month of November, I was posting all my recipes that I did for Thanksgiving. And then now starting from Monday, I will be, I'm starting to post all my recipes for Christmas. I taped 8 new shows for Christmas.
Well, this is why we had you on today because it's like the perfect time. You're putting us in the mood. You know, we need to have.
Oh, I have amazing recipes coming like twice a week. I will be posting 2 recipes for Christmas, and they are amazing. I'm sure everyone will enjoy them. And I have previous ones, probably over I probably have about 100 Christmas. I love baking for Christmas.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
yeah, it's
I'm
nice.
going to be watching them. I don't know. I don't know what the results are going to be, but I'm going to try. I know that,
That's
it's just you really bring things to life, and I love the fact that you're keeping tradition, our stories going along with the recipe. So it's really beautiful what you do. Thank you so much. And one of these days, that I'm going to be visiting Samira's kitchen. I got
of course.
all
You're
this
more than
talk.
welcome. I
After all this time,
love
I'll
the
come and
people.
interview you in person so I can get to taste some.
Of course. Yeah, and then we'll have lunch or dinner. I mean, this
Yes,
is my
I know, that's why
this
I'm
is my
coming.
favorite thing to do. People will want to, like come and pick up a book. They say, we don't want to order on Amazon. Can we? And we live like half a mile from you. Can we pick it up? Yes, please do. I love people. Are you kidding?
Yeah, they find all the tricks to get into your kitchen, huh?
Ahlan wa sahlan. You're more than welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Samira. You're a beautiful person. You put so much wonderful energy, and you give such a nice message for women who, like I said, it's just the way that you handle family and work and everything like that. It's just very beautifully, very artistic. You're very artistic, and that's beautiful. So thank you everybody for watching. This is going to be recorded, and you can watch it anytime. And then please make sure to go and watch Samira's videos on her YouTube channel and on all her social media. She's fun to watch. Thank you, Samira.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. And Merry Christmas, everyone.
Same to you. Same to you. Bye-bye.